So I've been getting a lot of comments and stuff about people that wanted to see like my physical card collection because I talk about it in my videos sometimes, but I've never really shown it. I've just done virtual games and stuff. Nobody's seen my real cards. So I just wanted to take today and just show you guys like my card collection, and you guys could see the cards that it took me so many years. Like I bought this game from pretty much at release day one, and I've been collecting my whole life since then pretty much. So that was like what, in 2004 it came out. So like it's taken me 18 years to build up this collection. Now I've put a lot of money into this collection. I've spent so much time gathering all these cards, but I don't really think about the money that I've spent too much on it because it's to me this is way more valuable than what I spent on these cards. And like honestly, just the nostalgia alone makes it all worth it. So let's just jump in and I'll show you guys my cards. I'll kind of give you some stories about some of the more interesting ones that I have and how I managed to obtain some of these really rare cards, and maybe you can learn a little bit about like the history of this game as we look through my collection. So without further ado, let's jump in to my Duel Masters collection. Now here is my front page, and as you can tell, I have like the rarest cards that I own. I keep them in the front so that when you open up the binder, you just see them right away. So yeah, here it is. This is some of my rarest cards right here you're looking at. This one right here is one of my favorites in particular. This one, Garabon the Glider. I actually got this one at a Five Civilizations tournament where I ended up trading away like two Bullshock Dragons and a Gatling Sky Terror together, and I managed to pick up this Garabon the Glider, so that was pretty sick. I also really like this card down here, Garabon the Glider. I pulled that one in a pack actually, so that was like one of the sickest pulls I ever had. So just overall, like this is a pretty solid first page. Like you can't ask for that much more in a first page. And wow, I actually forgot to mention up here we have Garabon the Glider, another one of my favorites. I really like the flavor text on this one. I don't know if maybe you can yeah, you can't really read it from there, but I'll just read it. It says, "Yar, who's up for a snowball fight?" Just really funny flavor text, and that's why I really like that card. So that's a really cool pickup that I got. Uh, so from here on out, the cards are a little bit less rare, but to be honest, they're still quite valuable. So let me show you what I have on my next page. Now, this is a very like there might not be as rare as like the first page we saw here. Like we had that copy of Garabon the Glider, but over here, like just the pure volume and like pure number of good cards here makes this like just insane to look at together like that. We have up here, we have Garabon the Glider. That's a really, really good one. I pulled that one in a pack actually at the Continental Championships. Here's another one that I really enjoy is Garabon the Glider. I actually didn't pull this one. This one actually my brother pulled. And at the same time, I was opening another pack, and my pack had like a Pyrofighter Magnus as well as a Bolmedius in it. And he was trying to build a fire deck, so I traded him and I managed to pick up that copy of Garabon the Glider. These bottom three here, these copies of Garabon the Glider, they're really good, but they're not as nostalgic to me because I actually just bought these ones on eBay. So they're not like I don't have stories to tell about them. But I'm sure like the previous owners probably could have told you a little bit about them. And don't forget down here, I actually also have Garabon the Glider. That's another really good card. I actually used this in a deck once. I had like a Snow Fairy deck where I actually had a whole play set, believe it or not. It was really hard to come by, but I did manage to pick up the play set of Garabon the Glider, and so I did use it in that deck. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this because I do have a lot more cards to show you guys. So let's just kind of press on and I will show you the next page of my collection. Now here is actually some of the best cards because right here, if you look really closely, I have a copy of Garabon the Glider. This is just an insane card. It's a 2-cost 1,000, power attacker plus 2,000. So it's early game, you get it out on turn 2 and it can just start attacking your opponent right away and just like putting pressure on. It does die to like Magma Rex and stuff, but because it has the power attacker, you can kill Aqua Hulkuses, you can kill Horrid Worms, you can kill Bronze Arm Tribes, you can kill like a lot of those early game cards that the decks were running at the time that this came out, so that's really sick. We also have right here a copy of Garabon the Glider, and the thing I really love about this card is actually the artwork. I mean, like, if you just look at it, it's just a giant fat snowman that's carrying this massive staff around. Like, what's not to love about that? So that's a really sick card. Down here, we actually do have two copies of Garabon the Glider. Another just sick card to have in any collection. If you don't have these two in your collection, you're probably missing out. And I suggest probably like, they might be hard to find, but you probably want to shell out the money to pick those up. I don't want to spend too much time because I do have more cards to show you. So here is one of the most crazy pages in the whole binder, actually, because if you look right here, I do have a copy of Garabon the Glider, as well as right here, I do have a copy of Garabon the Glider as well. This is a nature card, so if you play nature, you definitely want to be using this in your deck. It's only 2 mana for 1,000 power, which doesn't sound that good, but it's a power attacker plus 2,000, and it's a snow fairy. So, like, you want to be playing that if you're playing a snow fairy deck, and any deck with nature, really, you want to be playing that Garabon the Glider. Now, actually, strangely enough, if you look on this page, I have Garabon der Segler. Now, this is actually a German Garabon the Glider. Let's see if you can get a better view of that. Yeah, Garabon der Segler. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but if you read its effect, it is a Starker Angry for plus 2,000. I don't know what it means, but I really like the flavor text on this one. It says, "Wow, we're hot Lust auf ihn Schneeschbalschach." I probably pronounced it wrong again, but I mean, it's a pretty sick card, Garabon. It's Garabon the Glider, but it's in German. Now, I also do have down here, you may have to get a close look at this. This is Garabon der Segler. It is a German copy of Garabon the Glider, so that's actually really sick. One of the just like the coolest cards in the game, to be honest. Like if you look at it and like, just the art is so cool, and just the fact that I have a copy and not English is pretty cool as well. I mean, not that many people have like multiple language cards, and so we've got one here, and that's really cool. I also have over here in the top, I do have an English copy of Garabon the Glider, so that's pretty good too. So it's nice to just have like those two just go so well together. On top of that, I do have a copy of Garabon der Segler down here, so that's good to have if you are playing a nature deck. Now, we are coming to the end of the binder here, but the last page is definitely a treat to behold. Look at what I have here. Not only do I have Garabon the Glider, I also have a copy of Garabon the Glider down here. And believe it or not, look at this. I have a Japanese copy of Garabon the Glider. Now, let me see. My Japanese is not great. Katsu ko yo se Garabon. Really awesome card just to have in your collection. This one I actually like. I was in Japan when I got this. I went through a bunch of like card shops in Tokyo, and I looked through the discount bins, and I could not believe it that I found this card in a discount bin in some random card shop in Shibuya, and it was 10 yen. So that's like less than 10 cents I paid. And I like, that's insane. Like, can you find value like that anywhere else in the Duel Masters world? Not really. So if you ever are in Japan, you definitely want to look in those discount bins at every card shop you can find, because you might find a Japanese Garabon the Glider. I also have this right here. It's an English copy of Garabon the Glider. Really just a nice card to have in the collection. And I guess just to top it off, the last one down here, I do have a Garabon the Glider, a really, really rare card. Pulled that one in a pack, believe it or not. So that's really sick. So yeah, that's my collection. It took me 18 years to build this collection up, and I'm still building this collection. You know, like collections are never finished. You could spend your whole life and you could never have enough Duel Masters cards. Like if you're thinking about cards that I don't have that I really need to add to my collection, I'm thinking like I probably want at least one Garabon the Glider, preferably more. And on top of that, it would be really nice to have a Garabon the Glider. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't want to come off as like a show off or like bragging, but I do think this is one of the better collections you're going to find in the Duel Masters world. And just like, it took me so long to put it together. So I hope you guys enjoyed just reminiscing in the stories of these beautiful cards as much as I do. Anyways, that's it for today, and I will see you guys next time. We're going to have some more Duel videos. Just mixing it up with a little real life cards just for every once in a while. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.